Before the famous signatures were dried on parchment, there was a single hand. Timothy Matlack, a brewer, a street brawler, and a radical political agitator. Alone at a desk at 2 in the morning, holding a goose quill, mapping out a revolution.
Charles,
Timothy,
I trust that you have it.
I do indeed. Here it is. It is to be engrossed on parchment. Every delegate will sign.
And if the king's men find this, or the man who wrote it,
Then we shall all hang together. But it must be beautiful. It must look like the birth of a world, not a death warrant. Can your hand stay steady?
my hand is steady. But my family, I'll need to send word to the ridge. If Philadelphia falls, the high ground is the only place left to hide.
Every stroke of his pen was treason. In 1776, an act of rebellion wasn't an abstract debate. It was a death warrant.
We pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
If the British Army took Philadelphia, the men who signed the document would face an army. The man who hand-wrote it would face a gallows. He watched Charles Thompson vanish into the dark, knowing the clock was already running out. 3 miles across the Delaware River, the British Army was already preparing to march towards the exact 150 acres of ridge soil his family called home. He wasn't just writing a declaration. He was drawing a battle line directly through his own blood. In 1776, the Ridge wasn't just a farm. It was a fortress of geography. Sitting 120 feet higher than Philadelphia, it served as the crow's nest for the Continental cause. From this crest, Timothy Matlack's uncle and cousins weaponized the vantage point. They tracked the glint of British bayonets from 2 miles out, mapping troop movements across the valley below. They didn't wear uniforms. They were local Jersey men who turned an ordinary family homestead into an active intelligence node. The information was instantly encrypted, relayed through a coordinated network of coded signal fires stitched across the tree canopy and carried by midnight express riders down the back slope of the hills. This was the Sand Hills Spine, the only dry, tactical path through the unmappable lowland swamps of South Jersey. If you held the ridge, you held the intelligence. The Matlack family used this ground to monitor British troop movements along White Horse Road, ensuring the Scribe in Philadelphia always knew when to run. Through that brass field glass, the coordinates of an empire were being calculated and fed directly to General Washington's command. The trap was being set. But lines on a map are just theories, until they're paid for in blood. Timothy Matlack wrote the words. The Continental Congress ordered the work. And Lieutenant John Stafford, of General Washington's elite lifeguard, was what the revolution actually spent. Words become decisions. Decisions become orders. And orders become young men in a fog who cannot see the enemy.
Hold fast, Lieutenant. You'll get through this night.
Amen.
Over here! Over here!
Quickly, help! Help!
Stafford survived the field at Germantown, but the blood he spilled was already binding him to this ground. He didn't know it yet, but he was coming home to the family of the man whose words he went to war for. A love story embedded in the most consequential document in human history. Germantown was a tactical disaster.
Prepare the men.
A battlefield lost to an unpredictable morning fog.
We must move.
But General Washington hadn't just defended a position. For the first time, he had launched a complex, multi-column counteroffensive against the British Empire. He lost the field, but he proved his army could fight.
We must press on.
While the high commands calculated the political fallout, the physical cost of the battle was carried miles across the Delaware River, up the quiet, protective slopes of the Sand Hills. Under the roof of the Ridge homestead, the war became a matter of inches, of stanching iron-rich blood, boiling clean well water, and keeping a shredded shoulder from succumbing to infection. With Philadelphia fallen, Timothy Matlack was now a hunted man, a fugitive hiding out in the only sanctuary he had left, the Sand Hills of South Jersey. the scribe, the soldier, and the shield. Under this roof, the three pillars of the American story merged. It is easy to write a revolution on paper. It is another thing entirely to watch a boy bleed for it on your floor. Shame for the suffering his words had caused, but a fierce, blinding hope in the strength of the resistance. Through the dead of winter, as the wounds closed, a different kind of bond took root.
How are you feeling?
Not out of sentiment,
Better now, thanks to you.
but survival. A soldier who had lost his unit and a family who had risked their lives, binding themselves to each other and to this earth. Out of the freezing dark of Valley Forge, a nation was being reconstructed. And when the winter finally broke, the ridge was no longer a hiding place. It was a home. From the shadows of the timber, the scribe watched the soldier he had saved step into the light. He didn't see the shame of the war anymore. He saw the architecture of its survival. The lines Matlack drew on parchment became a covenant written in blood, signed with a wedding ring, bound to the sand. For 2.5 centuries, the Stafford and Matlack legacy has been preserved in this dirt. It outlived the muskets. It outlived the empire. The land transformed its tactical advantage into an agricultural covenant. John Stafford once stood on this crest with a weapon, defending a revolution. Today, his hills are worked by those who do not have to fight for it, because someone already did. The sound of the carriage faded long ago, but the land still tells the story. When you stand on this ridge today, looking out over the valley floor, your eyes are tracing the exact lines of sight that saved an army. The elevated horizon that modern guests gather to watch at sunset was the very same vantage point where the Matlack family stood watch in the freezing dark. The cool evening breeze that rustles through the outdoor seating is the precise downslope air drainage that kept our scouts' lenses clear. Every detail of the modern estate is an unwritten map. The paths you walk between the vines are the paths the midnight couriers rode to outrun an empire. The quiet sanctuary found here today was paid for by individuals who refused to let this soil break. Today, Saddlehill isn't just a vineyard. It has become a top agro-tourism destination for all of southern New Jersey. The land transformed its tactical advantage into an agricultural legacy. You aren't just holding a glass. You are tasting the victory of the ridge.